All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about something that's officially jumped from science fiction right into our daily work lives. A new breed of AI tools, and they're starting to completely transform highly skilled jobs. To really see how, we're going to use the legal world as our main example to get a sneak peek at what the future of professional work is shaping up to be.
So let's just start with this one massive question. What if the most tedious, the most soul-crushing, and, let's be honest, the most boring parts of your job, all that stuff that just eats up your day, what if all of that could be done, poof, in just a few seconds? Well, that's not a hypothetical anymore. It's the core promise of the AI we're looking at today. And there's probably no better place to see this revolution happening right now than in the world of high-stakes law. I mean, forget the courtroom drama you see on TV. The reality for so many lawyers is just literal mountains of documents. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of pages that have to be read, understood, and checked with absolute precision. It's a process that's practically designed for burnout.
Now, this is where you can really see the shift. The old way, right? You've got a junior lawyer or a paralegal spending hours manually grinding through a huge contract. And not only is that painfully slow, it's also super easy to make a mistake. But the new way? It's all about AI assistance. It's like having an instant first look that flags all the key issues in seconds, not hours.
Okay, let's get specific because this is where it gets really cool. The most powerful right out of the gate impact of these tools is their ability to review and redline, which is just lawyer speak for suggesting edits, on these incredibly complex contracts almost instantly. And the process itself? It's so simple. A lawyer just drops a draft contract into a program they already use, like Microsoft Word. Then they can ask the AI, in this case, an AI called Claude, to do some pretty amazing things, like find any off-market terms, which are basically things that are kind of weird or not standard. The AI reads the entire thing, understands all the dense jargon, and then spits back a summary with citations you can click on. A job that could easily take a paralegal 2 hours is now done in a handful of seconds. That's not just a small improvement, that's a whole new ballgame. I mean, just let that sink in for a moment. The entire timeline for this kind of mind-numbing review work just collapsed, from hours down to seconds. But here's the thing, it's not just about raw speed. The way these tools are actually designed is changing the whole conversation. We're moving away from AI as a replacement and toward AI as a collaborator, like your new AI colleague.
So here's the absolute key. The AI doesn't just go in and rewrite the document on its own, it makes all of its suggestions as tracked changes, which is the exact same feature lawyers already use to work with each other. This is huge because it means the human expert sees every single suggested change and has 100% control to say yes or no to each one. The human is always in the driver's seat.
And this quote from the source material just nails it. The experience isn't about handing your work over to some mysterious black box and just hoping for the best. It's totally interactive. It feels like you're working side by side with a super fast, unbelievably diligent colleague who's just getting that first draft ready for your expert review.
And get this, here's another one of those tasks that everyone hates that this AI colleague can just handle. We're talking about working through a draft that's covered in comments. As you can see here, going through all those comments, making the edits, and replying, that used to take hours. The AI can now do that entire loop across the whole document, turning hours of tedious work into just a few minutes.
Okay, but it gets even smarter. The capabilities go way beyond just editing text. This is where we start to see an AI that doesn't just find words, but actually understands meaning and context.
This table shows the difference perfectly. Your standard Control-F search, it's dumb. It just finds the exact word you typed, like indemnify. But this AI does what's called a semantic search. It gets the concepts. So you can ask it something complex like, find every provision touching indemnification, and it'll find all the right clauses, even if they don't use that exact word. In a 150-page document, that is a genuine superpower.
And the real game changer? The AI can hold context across completely different documents, even different programs. So you can be in your Word document and say, hey, pull the latest numbers from that Excel sheet, or make sure this contract matches the terms in that PowerPoint presentation. That just erases so much of that constant, annoying toggling back and forth between windows.
All right, now for the really important reality check. This is not magic, okay? And the people who built it are really upfront about what it can't do. And this is where that human expertise becomes more critical than ever before.
So let's be crystal clear on these things. First off, it's a large language model, not a lawyer. It hasn't passed the bar exam, it doesn't have years of experience. Second, it has zero professional liability if things go wrong. Third, it can totally miss subtle legal details that are specific to, say, California versus New York. And finally, and this is the big one, it doesn't know your client. It has no idea what their appetite for risk is. That's where you, the human professional, are absolutely irreplaceable.
And really, that brings us to the final, most important takeaway here. The goal is augmentation, not replacement. The true value of this incredible technology is that it compresses all the mechanical, repetitive, boring layers of a job. And what that does is it frees up the human expert to focus on what humans do best: strategic thinking, applying years of experience, and making critical judgment calls.
So I'll leave you with this question. We've just seen a really clear, really powerful example from the legal world, where hours of drudgery now get done in seconds. The question for all of us now is, if AI can do this for law, what tedious, mechanical parts of your profession are next?